Mr. Petty still here? Time on this, sir.
I prepared a cover sheet, kind of prepared some motions for you there. I don't have a presentation or anything of this evening, but if you have any follow-up questions from the work session or any further concerns or discussion, I'm here and happy to help answer those. Again, I have put together a few motions there that kind of help that.
I have one question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
What is going to be the cost to complete the love sign, as you know?
So, let me pull that up real quick. So as we previously discussed, that budgetary item, we have had some, I was able to secure some receipts that we have spent from the work that has taken place so far. Some of that was the rebar that we had mentioned that's already put in place, and in addition to all the design costs and certain. So as of right now, we've spent $8,019.38. However, that keeps us still on track of that initial estimate of $1,290. It currently keeps us on track with that at their original approximation of the rebar costs, and currently right now we would be looking at that $17,000 number that we originally talked about, backing out that $5,000 for the Rotary grant and the reimbursement from Virginia Tourism Corporation that we were approved for.
So you're saying we still need $17,000?
We're still in that from the approximations that I have. I believe there was some discussion that Mr. Stanley had that may address that entrance.
The apron.
The apron. Anybody comments about
The
that?
apron, from my understanding, is required and
Yes.
is not inclusive in this.
It is required from VDOT, and we've had their approval and we're working on that with them.
Do we know how much that apron is going to cost or anticipate costing? Or is it something that VDOT is going to?
I believe Mr. Childress did have some estimated cost of what that may be. It still keeps us under that $20,000 threshold when you add that into the costs. Did you have any?
Yes, since the work session, I did talk with our contract paver, Carroll Construction Company, that we use for road and other similar site projects. They went out and took a look at it, provided a copy of the site plan. They provided us with an estimate to pave it to meet the VDOT entrance permit requirements for the paving materials, labor and equipment would be approximately $5,300.
Did they give you a quote on the entire parking lot to do the entire?
Yes, ma'am. That would be in addition, depending on the pavement thickness, it could be as high as 5,900 for the entire parking area outside of the entrance. If we don't put base under it, that would reduce that cost by about $1,600. So
When you don't put the proper base, then the asphalt doesn't hold up as well. So,
Right.
So 53 for the apron and an additional 55. 59. Okay. Question, because I went back out there and I remembered the water valve. They understand that valve's got to be accessible.
The fire hydrant or the valve?
The valve.
Yes, so we have been working with the town of Front Royal, our staff, to make sure that, one, that's accessible and that there's not a hole or anything like that. It would be a grade level, and they have been working with the town and their public works department to make sure that that would all be accessible and at grade level.
Okay, because I don't want to get in trouble by paving it over where somebody doesn't realize there's a valve there, and then we have to tear up what we possibly just put there. And I do want to commend you on all the work you did on this, and your presentation. I didn't realize that was your first, but you did an awesome job on that, and I want to thank you for it. Hearing things that went on tonight, I don't know about the rest of the board, but I kind of like to go with option number 2 under the motions. Finding that the proposed project may create a positive impact for our community, I move the Board of Supervisors ask the staff to explore other locations, designs, and/or funding for this community entrance sign project and discuss them at the August 11th. I heard Ms. Parker tonight. We talked the other day. A lot of good ideas that I think we need to have public input, in my impression, to consider with this before we do jump in and finish it. But because I'm not against the love sign. And I did talk to VDOT because my concern was the safety issue, and I reached out to VDOT and asked them if we could have some signage put up prior to getting there that would be a locational sign that said love sign 500 feet ahead, so people wouldn't run up, throw on the brakes, and cause a safety issue there. They're not willing to do that. At this point, they don't want to crowd the highway with more signs than necessary. They said they would consider it if it became an issue. Also, to address somebody's question about putting the side or, there at the shoulder, that was not Warren County, that was not your idea, that was VDOT's. Because the width there is wide enough that their concern is people will stack up instead of one car in front of the other pulling off, that they'll be side by side. And I can understand that. So just to clarify that for whoever asked that question, that was a recommendation that VDOT had. So.
Well, if they're recommending it, does that mean that they would pay for it, they won't install it themselves, or is it something?
They didn't go that far, but.
Okay.
Do we want to clarify that motion?
I'll start that off.
Because we've got the regular cost, and you're talking about adding the asphalt and possibly the whole thing.
No,
that takes it to a considerably higher level, which we've got to approve.
Well, and I think, but with that motion, that would give consideration to that for us to come back and have that as an understanding of,
I'm fine with that if we go with that motion.
I put it out there, we can vote on that.
I would second that part of it, to take it to a work session.
Any further discussion?
I just want to say that I'm not against the love sign, and I'm grateful to Rotary for being a good partner with our community. But I do want to make sure because this is going to exceed $20,000 if we do what is required by VDOT. And it is in the Virginia Code that you have to approve, this board has to approve anything above $20,000. We have to make sure that as supervisors that because we're held accountable for how money is spent. And I understand that this is tourism dollars, which has been collected from occupancy tax, but it's still money that has to go through this board. So I just wanted to clarify that. It's not that anybody was trying to stir up, because I agree there shouldn't be a big argument over love signs, but at the same time, as a supervisor, I'm accountable to constituents who have elected me to make sure that this money is being spent in the wisest way it can be, and that we get a product that we're incredibly proud of, that we aren't going to have to maintain or spend more money on in the future. So those were all the reservations that I had. I want a love sign in Warren County that is representative of this community's hiking habits, its golfing habits, its the mountains and the river. But I do want to make sure that we are providing a project that is long-lasting. So I don't care if we spend $40,000 on it. If that is what we decide is the best product that we have to give to our community, and it's something that we can be proud of. And as somebody mentioned in the audience, that, you know, when they take a picture in front of it, they go, wow, look at the love sign in Warren County. That's the response I want. And so that I just want to clarify that for some of the folks that spoke.
And just to clarify, so to accommodate VDOT and their entrance, the $50-some $100, and I even did it 6,000, just an estimate in there, because that is just that, it's an estimate for it. So if we were to be a little more conservative, say 6,000, it would only take us the 12 that's anticipated. Again, we have 5 that's being allocated. That would only take us up to 18 some. So the VDOT requirement would still keep us under the 20. It's if we wanted to move forward with paving the parking lot. That's not a VDOT requirement, but it is a good recommendation I think we should count for. That would definitely take us over that $20,000 threshold.
And I don't believe that not paving, that doing the apron and not paving the parking lot is going to be the best product for Warren County.
I agree.
So I think that would look unfinished, and you know, I wouldn't build a house and not put the shutters on the outside if that's what it was.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify
Yeah.
too, that VDOT's not requiring that. I think that's just
Right.
definitely our preference. It would be nicer if it would pay, but I don't want to step on VDOT and say they're telling us to pave it.
No, they do not require it, not even for the handicap, but taking into consideration that all the stormwater comes down that hill is gonna go right through the middle of the parking area to the drain that's there, it's gonna wash out. It's gonna be a continual maintenance issue there versus, and as Mr. Mabe said, not so handicap friendly. And we certainly don't wanna bring anyone there and have a fall. Like Ms. Parker said, if you're gonna do it right, you do it right the first time, and then you don't have to keep repeating. So that's why I feel that second motion is something that can get us to, hopefully, where everybody is harmonious with this.
Thank you. Could we get a roll call, please, Emily?
Mr. Carter?
Aye.
Ms. Oates?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman?
Aye.
Ms. Colors?
Aye.
Mr. Fox?
Aye.